Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching TopTenzNet, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 most insane things that governments have wasted money on. Let's get started. Government spending is always topical. For every liberal decrying the paltry money begrudgingly dripped into the welfare state, there's a libertarian begging for it to be reduced further. For every spectacularly wasteful government project, there's some piece of essential infrastructure that benefits millions. Getting it right is tricky. Or as in the cases in today's video, you could simply not even try. These projects were so pointless and so wasteful, it feels like their only real purpose was to shove a gigantic middle finger in the face of the taxpayer. Let's get started.
Number 10. Dubai is equipping its firefighters with jetpacks. We're going to go out on a limb here and guess that if everyone watching this was the head of a multi-billion-dollar petro economy, the first thing they'd buy is a fleet of jetpacks. Well, we've got some great news, because with that attitude, there might be a job in Dubai's government for you. The Gulf state claims it has been working on the idea of giving its workers jetpacks since 1981. Only recently has technology caught up with that impressively wacky dream. Starting in 2016, the city's firefighters will be equipped with jetpacks capable of flying up to 3,000 feet at 46 miles per hour for roughly 30 minutes. The idea is that these jetpacks may save lives in the case of an apocalyptic skyscraper fire. With people trapped on the roof, the firemen could simply fly up, sweep them into a fireman's lift, and hopefully not drop them on the way down. Like most of Dubai's civic plans, like the time they equipped policemen with Lamborghinis, it's both wonderfully impractical and damn impressive. If you come back next year to watch this channel, I'm not here, it's because I went to Dubai to train as a firefighter. Number 9. A Kenyan ministry bought sex toys on expenses. Given an expenses budget and a lack of oversight, many of us would probably take advantage. A crate of champagne here, a foreign holiday there. The TopTenz expenses account really knows no limits. But there's taking advantage, and then there's really taking advantage. In November of 2015, the Kenyan taxpayer got to experience that pain when a government ministry was accused of buying sex toys on expenses. In a routine sweep by the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC, Kenya's Ministry for Devolution was found to have been engaging in all sorts of shady deals. Those involved were suspected of buying stuff like TVs at inflated prices, then pocketing the difference. But the real kick in the teeth came when it was discovered sex toys may have been charged to the public. Although the case is still being investigated, we've got to hand it to any non-prostitute with the cojones to charge the public for their erotic playtime. Talk about finding new ways to screw the taxpayer. Number 8. Italy blew $2 million on an elevator to nowhere. Italy has major problems with both government corruption and mafia kickbacks, so perhaps it's no surprise that the country is regularly accused of urinating EU money down the drain. Sometimes, though, this wastefulness goes beyond just simple corruption and into hilarious insanity, like the time the municipality of Sutera in Sicily spent €2 million on an elevator to nowhere. A tiny-ass town, Sutera has been struggling financially for decades. A few years ago, the government decided to boost tourism by building an ugly elevator from the town to the ancient monastery at the top of the mountain of Sao Paulino. After years of false starts and wanted cash, the lift was finally completed in 2012. The local council then refused to operate it, saying it was basically too damn expensive. So what happened to the money? As far as anyone can tell, it went into the pockets of the Sicilian mafia. It wouldn't be the first time. A few years ago, Italy was forced to repay the EU £307 million after it was discovered money for road repairs was going exclusively to keeping real-life Don Corleone in his retirement. Number 7. Hong Kong spends millions on Feng Shui. If the words Feng Shui make you think of artsy-fartsy types spending thousands of dollars to have their furniture arranged, then prepare to be surprised. This practice is taken very seriously in Hong Kong, where buildings are constructed specifically to allow qi, aka life force, to flow through them. In fact, it's taken so seriously that the government spends millions of dollars every year to compensate for screwing it up. Every time a construction project ends, Hong Kong residents can apply for compensation if they think it damaged their qi. Given how small the island is and how many people live there, this happens with unsurprising frequency. In the years leading up to 2010 alone, the government had to spend the equivalent of £6 million for messing up their citizens' qi. We should point out at this point that Feng Shui has absolutely zero basis in science and isn't even believed by everyone in Hong Kong. Understandably, this has made locals suspicious that the compensation is merely a scam to line the pockets of landlords and Feng Shui masters. Number 6. The US spent $6 million making a Pakistani Sesame Street. This may come as a shock, but growing up as a poor kid in rural Pakistan is a heck of a lot worse than growing up poor in New York City. That might be the idea behind a plan some years ago to create a Pakistani version of Sesame Street. Fair enough, you might think. The show is the property of the Jim Henson Company, and they can license it out to whoever they feel like. Only the creative force behind this version wasn't some Pakistani TV company, it was the US government. Known as Sim Sim Hamara, the program was a US attempt to exercise soft power in Pakistan, presumably in the hope that jihadists would rather stay in and watch Oscar the Grouch than blow themselves up. Originally, over $20 million of US taxpayers' money was meant to fund the program, but the contract was cancelled after only $6 million had been spent due to evidence of corruption. This isn't the only time the US screwed up producing different Sesame Streets. In 2012, the Palestinian version had to get shut down after Congress froze all aid to the region following Palestine's bid to join the UN. Number 5. A Swedish town spent millions getting itself onto Second Life. You probably remember Second Life. The online world launched in 2003 and was meant to be the best thing since virtual sliced bread. Companies paid for space there, universities held lectures in its hallowed halls, heck, even The Office did an episode devoted to it. Then at some point the dream died. In 2014, Business Insider claimed it had long ago devolved into a post-apocalyptic virtual world, mainly used for sex parties. Apparently not everyone saw that as a downside. Only a couple of years before, the Swedish town of Malmö spent millions in government money creating an exact replica of itself inside Second Life. The idea was that originally Swedes could log on to their IKEA-purchased laptops and drive a virtual Volvo full of stereotypes into the Second Life version of their town hall where they could talk to officials. In reality, barely anyone used the service. One report claims the grand closing down party in 2012 was attended by a maximum of 6 people, and 3 of them were probably only in there because a sex party kicked off. Number 4. Haiti spent earthquake money on sick 4x4s. An extremely poor, extremely earthquake-prone country, Haiti has long been a disaster waiting to happen. In 1998, researchers said it was due an apocalyptic tremor. In 2009, local geologist Claude Prepetit begged the government to put aside money to earthquake-proof buildings in Port-au-Prince. The Haitian government politely listened, then promptly blew that money on awesome four-wheel-drive Nissan patrols for government officials. Unlike most on this list, their actions had real and tragic consequences. The capital, Port-au-Prince, was a badly built nightmare of teetering walls and unstable foundations. A gust of breeze could probably have brought the whole lot tumbling down, never mind an earthquake. Then, in January of 2010, a 7-magnitude earthquake hit the island nation. Port-au-Prince collapsed, killing 160,000 people. We can only hope that it took out some of those Nissan patrols too. Number 3. A UK minister charged taxpayers to have his moat cleaned. When British politicians go corrupt, they apparently do it in the poshest possible way. In 2009, The Telegraph uncovered a string of illegal expenses claims MPs had charged to the taxpayer. Most of these amounted to getting the government to pay their mortgage or pay for a new luxury car. Reprehensible as that is, it has nothing to the gall of Conservative MP Douglas Hogg. At one point, he charged the taxpayer £2,115 to have his moat cleaned. If that doesn't seem like much, bear in mind the man literally owns a moat. He can probably afford to clean his own castle. Hell, he probably has so much money that the rich ones in Downton Abbey doff their caps when they pass him, and he hires the Queen to polish his shoes. And this wasn't the only utterly absurd claim the Telegraph uncovered. Sir Peter Viggers spent an astonishing £1,645 on a house for his ducks. Number 2. The State Department spent over $600,000 on Facebook likes. We've all done it before. We've all posted something on Facebook, then watched in disappointment and mounting anger as our snarky comment about Donald Trump's hair doesn't get nearly as many likes as we hoped. But most of us aren't sad enough to pay someone to like our updates for us. Most of us aren't the US State Department. In 2013, it was revealed that the State Department had spent over $500,000 on Facebook likes to boost its fan numbers. This means that if you're watching this in America, the federal government personally stole $2 off you and everyone you know just to make themselves look good on social media. Admittedly, their tactic worked. In the time the program ran, it increased State Department Facebook fans from 100,000 to over 2 million. But this can only be considered a success if you think it's somehow conducive to American interests to have a well-subscribed Facebook page. Because from where I'm sitting, it kind of looks like a total waste of everyone's money. Number 1. Brunei spends billions on the craziest crap you could possibly imagine. A tiny Southeast Asian petro-state, Brunei is mainly famous for being boring and recently announcing it was under Sharia law. It deserves to be famous for something else entirely, because it spends money so lavishly and pointlessly it would put even Silvio Berlusconi to shame. Unlike others on our list, Brunei is a sultanate. This means that everything is in the hands of one crazy dictator, Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, and his brother, Prince Jeffrey. Together, they've blown the equivalent of the entire GDP of many smaller nations in the pursuit of hedonism. The Sultan's palace has 1,788 rooms, including 5 swimming pools and a mosque. Together with his brother, he owns 9,000 cars, including 2 custom-made Mercedes-Benz fire trucks, a personal zoo, 17 planes, hundreds of thousands of expensive suits, 16,000 tons of marble stacked into a warehouse, gold-plated toilet brushes, and a 12-foot-tall rocking horse. Prince Jeffrey is even worse. Aside from all the stuff above, he also owns a mega yacht named Tits, a harem of underage girls, and 4 life-size statues of himself having sex. Oh, and when the Sultan's 50th birthday rolled around, he built a brand new stadium and paid Michael Jackson $17 million to play it, because, well, of course he did.
So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you know of any other wastes that we missed in this video, let us know in the comments section below. And also, if you did enjoy it, do give us a like, it really helps out. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, there is a big subscribe button below me now, so just click on that and that will subscribe you. I know if you're on a mobile device, you can't click on the screen, so there will be a link below. Also in the links below will be to 2 of our other videos, which are on the right there, so be sure to check those out, and thank you for watching.